So this is the first class on Tehillim, and it is very, very important that we realize that Tehillim are not just songs or prayers or praises or hymns, but it is more than that. So it was all written in prophecy, and not only in prophecy. David HaMelech, King David, who lived only 70 years, actually he was supposed to be born dead. A miscarriage. And he had a twin brother. Yes, that was a miscarriage. Right. And if you look in the Sefer Torah, it's hinted to in the Sefer Torah, when you have the nun, the letter nun that's upside down. You know, like a baby. There's two nuns. And if you look in Ashrei Yoshevei Vetecha, right, which we say it every day, we're supposed to say, we say twice in Shachrit, once in Mincha, because David said, whoever says Ashrei Yoshevei Vetecha every day, he will be protected from all evil. So we say Ashrei Yoshevei Vetecha. You know which psalm it is? I'll tell you soon. אברכך, רוממך אלוהי המלך ואברך שמך לעולם ועד. That's the Aleph. Second pasuk. בכל יום אברכך. That's with the bet. גדול אדון גימל. Right? ד' דור לדור ישבח מעשיך וגבורותיך יגידו. הדר כבוד עודיך ודברי נפלאות. It goes through the Aleph bet. Right? Each pasuk, one letter of the Aleph Bet. But when it gets to the Nun, it's skipped. It says, Malchutecha malchut kol olamim, umemshaltecha bechol dor vador. And then, in the next pasuk, it says, Somech Hashem lechol hanofelim. Hashem holds all those that fall down. Supports those that fall down. So where's the Nun? Right? And the Samech talks about that he's going to hold all those that fall. All those Somech Hashem lechol hanofelim. Who is that Somech? What is David talking about? He's talking about himself. That really he was supposed to be a Nefel. Nefel in Hebrew comes from the word limpol, nofel, to fall. A miscarriage, when the baby falls, right? Nofel, nofelim. So David was supposed to be a miscarriage. In fact, his brother was a miscarriage. Right? So what happened? So Adam Rishon, Adam, the first man, here you go. The first man, Adam Rishon. So we have Adam is the letter Aleph. Aleph. Daled. Mem. What's Aleph, Daled, Mem? Aleph is Adam. Daled is David. Mem is Moshe. They're the same person. So they are really one and the same person. They're a reincarnation. Right. That means first was Adam, and he lived 1,000 years. But if you look, there's not 1,000 years. If you count, there's 930. So we received the tradition that Adam Rishon saw Hashem took him in the future, in the time machine, and Hashem showed him the soul of David HaMelech, of King David. And because Adam said, who will sing your praises? He says, look at this guy. He was supposed to sing my praises, but he's going to be a miscarriage. So Adam said, I'll give him 70 years of my life. And Adam gave to David 70 years of his life. That's right. And David just lived 70 years, and it was so intense that in those 70 years he was able to, do so much. And I believe that. I believe you can do that. It's happened to me. It happened to many people. You can do that. I was here in Nesach, I was here 6 months. We started the Simcha Hall in 2001. Then I left. Then I came back in 2007 when Rabbi Moses was here, and I took over, and I was just here for 3 years. And when I tell people you were here for 3 years, really? I said, yeah, I know. It looks like I was here for 10 or 15. We did so much. We did, the children's program, and we had counselors, and we organized the Hebrew school, and we had clubs in the high school, we had clubs in UCLA and in Santa Monica College, and we started the Teen Minyan. There was no Teen Minyan. We started the Teen Minyan, a real Teen Minyan, with teens running it, and we had the Simcha Hall, and we had speakers here and the speakers there, and this group and that group, and Ledor Vedor, and Shavuot, and the Minyan, and everything. It was very intense. After 3 years, goodbye. People said, are you sure it was 3 years? I said, I know. It feels like it was 10 or 15 years. We did so much. We can do so much, So time itself is relative. Time is relative. I mean, Einstein taught us that. You can go to the speed of light. You go to the speed of light, time stops. Amazing. If you go to very far distances, the time for an image from here to go into Pluto, if you're looking with a telescope in Pluto, you'll see you look here, you'll see the Earth, what happened an hour ago. Because the image takes time to travel there. So time is very relative. So you can do in a very short time, you can do what a person can do in 1,000 years, you can do in 70 years. And that's what David HaMelech did. And you'll see by his life what he did, So this is the main thing. So David HaMelech, no, there's nobody there. It's from the other office. And there's nobody in the office. Maybe they think the class is over there. The ladies, I don't know if you can open it from here. Try. Press this. The second one. Oh, it's a guy. No. There you go. Now it's going to go and see that the office is empty. So you see so that's one aspect. First of all, that David was a follow-up of Adam. And Adam, all the souls were included in Adam. That's right. All the souls, all the neshamot, including the neshamot of the Goyim, all the neshamot of all humanity, every single human, right? His chromosome was in the DNA of Adam. Yeah, like a seed. You plant the seed, in that seed is every single tree that's going to grow after that. In that seed. So that means that Adam contained in him all of us. And it says by Adam that Adam could see from one end of the earth to the other. Meaning to say that it says that Adam knew the animals. It doesn't mean he slept with them. That's what they want to say. Oh, the Midrash said that Adam slept with all the animals and then he gave them names. That's not what it means. Of course, what it means is that he knew them with his mind. He could go with his mind. That's how he knew. That's how he would know things. That's how he could see beyond physicality and beyond time and space and energy. He could go into something and know it. Know it. Not as an idea, but as an experience. He would go inside a fox and know what is the nature of that fox. You know? And he would see, wow, this fox is a very intelligent animal. He is cunning. Cunning. You know what is cunning? You know the story with the blackbird and the fox? You know the story?
Yeah.
What's the story? You can't remember. No, the blackbird finds a piece of cheese. The blackbird, you know those birds that are wah, wah, that always shout at them? They're very stupid. And they have a big ego. And Noah was going to send them from the ark. Then they realized that they're very stupid. And he was worried that, the bird was worried that Noah was going to sleep with the blackbird, the female blackbird. That's how stupid he was. So he didn't want to go. So he sent instead the dove. But the story goes, it's a very famous story, that the blackbird is holding a big piece of cheese in his mouth, on top of a tree. He found a nice piece of cheese. And the fox comes, and the fox is so hungry, And he comes to the blackbird, and he sees he's holding that piece of cheese. So he goes to the blackbird, and he says, "My gosh, what a beautiful bird you are." I mean, look at those feathers, they're so beautiful, and I bet you can sing so beautiful. You must have such a beautiful voice and such nice songs. And the blackbird, he's got a piece of cheese in his mouth, so he can't say anything, but he's like, "Oh, yes, thank you." He's getting inflated. And he says, "Please sing this song today, a beautiful song for me. Please, I beg you. He opens his mouth, and the cheese falls, and the fox eats the cheese, and he stays there, singing, and the fox goes to eat the cheese. That's the story. That's cunning. That's not smart, that's cunning, street smart. The fox, he always finds a way how to get into the chicken coop. So Adam knew. He goes into the fox with his mind, and he goes to his DNA, and he sees his DNA, and he says, this animal needs to have a mathematical equation that parallels his existence. So he takes the letters, which is numerical numbers, and puts them together, and that's his name. Shual. Shin Vav Ayin Lamed. And you take Gematria of Shual, and it represents cunning, to be cunning. You see? That's how he knew. That's how he knew. That's how he knew. But then not only that, Adam, Adam was so great that all the angels bowed down to him because they thought he was God. He was a God. That's how great he was. Adam. And Adam, of course, prophecy means very simple. You go into a dimension where there's no time. Time is an existence too. If you go to a dimension of no time, so you can go and see the whole picture. There's no past, present, and future. There's just everything. That's prophecy. Oh, he knew the lottery ticket, Yeah, of course he knew. He saw everything. He could see with his mind. So Adam saw all the people that were going to come from him. Forever. If he ate from the tree of knowledge, and he would go down, and he would now become physical and human, because now he was subhuman, he wasn't human. He was spiritual. Every person that would come from him, he saw. All of you, and me, and everybody. And he saw all the struggles, and he saw David. But David was special, because David would go to sleep very early at night. Go to sleep, and then Chatzot Laila, the midnight, David would hang his harp, on top, and the wind would come, play, like this, ding, 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 alarm. He would wake up, right? So when he would wake up, what happens when we sleep? When we sleep, 60% of us is dead, right? 40%, what happens to 40%? The neshama goes, right? It leaves you, not completely, except in 20 places. 20 places. Here, and the feet. So the neshama is like an elastic. And it goes, but it doesn't leave you here. If it leaves you here, you die. Yeah? Where does the soul go? Where does the neshama go? It goes to other worlds. Asiyah, Beriyah, Yetzirah, Atzilut. All the worlds, spiritual worlds that exist. And there the neshama roams, travels. What is it looking for? What are you looking for? What would you like to know? Huh? I'll tell you what you'd like to know. You'd like to know who you're going to marry. You want to know what's going to be with your children. You want to know, some people want to know what's the next lottery ticket. Some people want to know, want to go in the past, why things happen to them. Right? So we go in search, because we go into the realm that's beyond time, we go into these places. If you happen to find the place that what you're looking for is there, then you see it and you come back. Sometimes you remember, most of it you don't remember. 60% of the dreams, those are the dreams. 60% of the dreams, they're just connected to the fingers, associations. Yeah, you were baking cookies all day, you're going to dream about cookies. You know? Somebody was mean to you, you're going to have a dream with somebody who's mean to you. You see? But 40% is like prophecy. That's what the Talmud says. So, and then, if you really found it, you have it during the day, what's called a deja vu. You know what is a deja vu? Huh? You do? Something that it's already, you feel like happened before. Or been to a place that you were there before, but you couldn't have been there. Or you meet somebody that you know very well, but it's impossible that you met him. That's a deja vu. And that happens when you're out of your body. And you saw it, that it was going to happen in your travels, and now it did happen. And it's a very intense feeling. You know it's true. There's no doubt. Somebody who has a deja vu there's no doubt that this happened before. You know it well. You know this situation happened. You can see the colors and the people and the situation itself. Yeah? So what would happen when David would sleep? When David would sleep, he would meet all the people in the future. He wasn't looking to see who he was going to marry or what was going to happen to him. He wasn't that small-minded like us. He was looking, Hashem, how can I bring healing to the world? How can I make the world and people so much closer to you? So when he would go to sleep, he would look for that. And he saw the struggles of people. The struggles, the suffering, the challenges. And then when he would wake up, when the harp would play and he would wake up, he'd write them down as a song. Oh, so and so, you're going to have that suffering? I'm going to write about it. I'm going to write about that kind of suffering. I'm going to write about that kind of challenge. I'm inspired by that person. He was inspired by us. So when we read Tehillim, we are inspired because we are reading about our struggle. You see, but we don't know. We don't know this. You see? But we do. For example, and all of the things happened to him. All those struggles and challenges happened to him. I cannot take questions or comments, yeah? At the end we will, because we're recording. At the end, if you want or think, ask me and I will, okay? But because, so, for example, the second Tehillim, the first one we're going to read now, but the second one talks about him, his son Avshalom, trying to kill him and rebelling against him. And then Avshalom, his son, is killed. So, the suffering of a parent who loses a child. So he wrote about this. So when there's a father or a mother that reads the Tehillim, they can get a prophecy of exactly what they're going through. That David saw them and wrote about it. It's not just a song. You see? So that's what it means. So everything that the Jewish people were to go through in the course of their history, everything that the Jewish people went through, collectively, as a nation, the Holocaust, the revolution in Iran, the wars in Israel, the wars before in the Roman times, Inquisition, whatever it was. Everything, all the moments, all the conditions. Right? All the spells of darkness, all the suffering, all the exiles. All these King David went through in the course of his life and gave expression to them in the Psalms. He gave expression to them in the Tehillim. So when we when we learn the Tehillim, we are going to reveal, right, those moments and conditions and sufferings and exiles. Huh? And more than that, because then the Tehillim will give us strength to overcome the challenges that we're going through. You see? Because of David's piety, his faith, his righteousness, his broken heart, his strength, his endurance, his trust in God. Right? And the fact that David never lost hope, and we the Jewish people, we never lose hope. All that is going to be in Tehillim. In the Tehillim. It's very important, right? And remember that David was the anointed one of God. He was anointed by God. That is not a simple thing. When you're anointed, by the prophet with the oil, that means that's what Mashiach means. Mashiach means Mashuach, the anointed. What does that mean? That means that you are now the representative of Hashem, the number one. Yeah? And David himself was very special because he was chosen as king. The first king in Israel was who? Shaul. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. Right? But wait a minute, doesn't it say in the Torah that the king only comes from the tribe of Judah? That's true. Lo yasur shevet miYehuda. That the king of Israel has to come only from the tribe of Yehuda. So why was the first king from the tribe of Benjamin? And the answer, and why did it take 400 years before there was a king? Between Moses, right, and Shaul and David, there were 400 years. Between Yehoshua and David, there were 400 years. They were judges, shoftim. Who were the judges? Shimshon, Devorah, a woman, right? Many. All the Sefer Shoftim is talking about Yiftach. These were all Shoftim, judges. There were no kings. Why were there no kings? Why did we have to wait 400 years? And the answer is because the Yehuda and all the brothers, they bowed when they came back from Lavan, and they met Esav. They all bowed down to Esav. Except, who didn't bow down to Esav? Benjamin. Why not? Because he was in the Rachel's stomach. She was pregnant with Benjamin. Later on, she has Benjamin, and she dies in Derech Bet Lechem, right? So everybody bowed down except Benjamin. So now there were 7 kings of Esav. We have to wait as a punishment, or we brought it down as a judgment. The 7 kings of Esav have to pass away before there's a king in Israel. Because why did you bow down? Why did you give the power to Esav, who was evil? You gave power to evil, so evil now takes over. So when the last king of Esav died, the first king has to be from Benjamin because he didn't bow down. And then after that comes the first king of Yehuda. Who is who? David. Right? That's very important. And David, why was he chosen as a king? Truly, he had 7 brothers. Yes, 7 brothers. We know what happened with Shaul. You know what happens with Shaul. Shaul didn't kill Amalek. He left him alive, Agag, king of Amalek. So Hashem said to Shmuel, he's not the king anymore. He can't be the king anymore. The king is going to be David. Right? But he didn't say David. He told him, go to the house of Ishai, of Jesse, and there you will choose a king. And when he went to Ishai, all the brothers, Ishai brought all the brothers to put oil on him, right? They would do like an omega sign. You know omega? And anoint. But the oil wouldn't come out. Shmuel tried to put the oil and he saw all the sons were beautiful. 7 sons, like Cinderella in a way. Maybe they copied it from this. So, so Shmuel says, do you have another son? He said, there's one that's with the sheep, but he's not fitting to be a king, he's there. So, they bring David, and there was a miracle. The oil would leave the jug out on its own and anoint David. That's how he knew. That's how he knew he was king. The oil came out from the jug and anointed David by himself. The jug by itself. Did you tell him to be quiet? He doesn't realize. He doesn't realize. So, but the real reason why David was chosen, why? Why was he chosen? So it says because David, whenever he met another person, he would always make them feel like a king. So Hashem said, if you can make people feel like a king, it's because you're a king. So he chose him as a king. Yeah? So it's very important. So the first Tehillim that we read, which is my favorite too, by the way, is Ashrei Ha'ish, the first one. And we'll read it and translate it, and then we'll try to explain it. So Ashrei Ha'ish means happy is the person. Asher lo alach ba'atzad reshaim. Who has not walked ba'atzad reshaim, in the counsel of the wicked. Uvderech chataim, and in the ways of the sinners, lo amad. He didn't stand. Uvmoshav letzim, and in the seat of the cynics, lo yashav. Right? This is the first Tehillim, the first one. But what it's really telling you here, that a person who is good and doesn't do bad, he's never afraid. He will always be happy. A person who does bad, even though he can have everything in the world, materialistically, he won't be able to sleep. That's what David is telling you. Happy is the man asher lo alach be'atzat reshaim. Also, he's telling you that if you start getting into evil, first, halach, it goes, I'm just going to do it one time. I'm just going to do it one time. Halach, it goes. Then, derech daim lo amad, and in the way of the sin is amad, then it stands. And in the end, umoshav letzim lo yashav. Then it takes over, then it sits down. Then it becomes cynical, you know. Then you say, it's not a sin, it's a mitzvah. When a person starts doing something that is against Hashem and against himself, in the beginning it's hard for him, and he says, I'm just passing by. The Yetzer Hara is just passing by. Then when you do it a few more times, I'm here. And then in the end, I'm going to take over. It's a mitzvah to do it. Not only it's not bad, it's good to do it. That's the nature of evil. That's why David started the book of Tehillim in this way. And the wicked, they're constantly in a state of dread. You know? A person who is, you know, he realizes, for example, that money is very powerful. So he spends his life just after money, just after money, just after money. Or whatever it is that he gets addicted to. You know? He's going to spend the rest of his life in the fear that he's going to lose the money. Or he's not going to fulfill that ta'ava, that desire that he needs so much. He's going to be constantly in fear because that is his God. He's going to be in fear that his God is going to go away. You see? But if the person is connected to Hashem, then no matter what happens, he's always going to be at peace. He's always going to be at peace. You know? And the closer that he is to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, yeah, the worst thing that could happen to him will not move him. Will not move him. He'll be able to sleep. He will be happy. And it's interesting that he uses ish, because there's ish, adam, enosh, gever. 4 kinds of ways of saying man. But ish is the highest level. Why is the highest level? Because it's the ish, right? Is you take the yud away, is esh. Yud is Hashem, the neshama. Yud, hey, vav, hey, yud. You take the yud, then it's like a fire. Everything will bury us, you know? I'm afraid of everything. Oh, somebody hit my car. Oh, I got a ticket. Oh, this didn't work out. Oh, I got fired. Oh, there's the, you know? But a person who has Hashem, he says, it must be for the good. It must be for the good. Kapara. They hit my car. Kapara. You see? And then he mentions 3 kinds of wicked people. Look at them. First is the Reshaim, right? Then comes the Hataim, the sinners, and then comes the Letzim, right? The scornful, the people that make a joke out of everything, the cynics. What's the difference between these 3 people? Right? So the first one is Reshaim. They are bad. They're bad people. That, holech, run away. Don't get involved with them. Do not get involved with them. Not good morning and goodbye, nothing. Get out of their way. You know, they're just bad people. They're just people that are miserable and they're looking for the next person to dump the garbage onto. And those kind of people, you got to run away from. So he says, the Reshaim, Asher lo halach. You didn't go in their way. Don't go their way. Get out of the way. Run away. Then comes Chataim. Right? Then comes the Hataim, are the people that are going to tell you, you know, hey, you know, let's do it one time. You can do it. It's okay. You know. Or you see them doing something evil. That you have to stand your ground. Say no. That you have to stand. You put your principles. No. And then the last is the cynic, you know? The cynical. You know who's a cynical? You know what is cynicism? You know what to be cynical means? That you make a joke about everything. Yeah, he's religious, but look, for this, for that. Right? That you have to be very careful that this kind of mentality doesn't take over you. You know, where you don't believe in anything or anyone anymore. You know, because the world is full of cynicism, you know, full of sheker, falsehood, full of religious people that are hypocrites, full of, you get let down so much. You see what's going on in life, and you tend to not believe in anything anymore. So lo yashav, don't let that take over. Don't give up hope. There are still a lot of good people out there. There's a lot of people that are really religious, the true way, the good way. There are selfless people, people who will help you, people who will give you the plate of food and the shirt on their back. I've seen it in my life. I've been there. There are a lot of good people in the world. And life is good. You know, and the world is a good place. You know. Well, don't listen to the news too much, because the only good news is bad news. You've ever seen when the news, they say the news, you have the news, oh, this, terrible, 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 very bad. Look what they did. And at the end, they have to show something good. They show a little deer that came on the road and is picked up by somebody. To end on a good note. Well, why do you have to end on a good note? Why don't you say the whole thing on a good note? It's because they realize that, you know, how negative can you be? People are not going to turn on, so let them leave with a good taste. But in the beginning, we're going to make sure we put enough poison into them. Enough negativity. So this is the let's. The let's is the cynical one, you know? The cynicism, you know? You have to be careful from people like that too. Because you can be very inspired and you can be very elevated, and this cynical person can come and put one idea in your mind and he'll throw down the whole building. You see? So that's why he mentioned the letzim. Another insight is interesting. V'derech hata'im lo amad. What does that mean? In the way of the sinners, he didn't stand. It means that even if you fell down and you sinned, you had a moment of weakness, you fell down, right? Don't stand. Don't stay there. Fix it right away. Fix it right away. You know? Everybody sins. King David says, En adam ba'aretz asher yaseh tov velo echta. There is nobody in the world that does good and doesn't sin. No such thing. Maybe a computer. But human beings, everybody makes a mistake. But that's not the point. The point is, don't get stuck. Move on. Okay, that was bad. I'm not going to do it again. I understand now. I'm not going back there. I don't want to do it again. And move on. Right? Derech chataim, and in the ways of the chataim, in the ways of negativity, lo amad. I didn't get stuck. I didn't stand. That's what David HaMelech is saying here. You see? You didn't keep doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it until it took over. And then I say, oh no, it's okay. That's the way of the world. It's okay. I can embarrass him. He's no good. You say, no, I embarrassed him. I'm not helping him. It's not right. I wouldn't like somebody to do it to me. I'm not going to do it anymore. You see that? Or they say, B'derech hata'im lo amad. These are the people of Sodom. Right? B'derech hata'im lo amad is the people of Sodom that used all their wealth for their desires. You know? Hashem gave them, blessed them, gave them a lot of wealth, and they got stuck with their money. You know? Okay, give a little, okay, give it a... Derech hata'im lo amad. Don't get stuck. Hashem gave it to you for a reason. You can do good things with it. Give back. Give back to the community. You know, this is a big lesson for all of us. And sometimes it's not only in money. You can give of your time, you can give of yourself, you can give of your friendship. You know, give back to the community. You know, it's unbelievable that this synagogue, you know, everybody comes. Every Shabbat. Everybody eats. Chul and the eggs and the this and the that. And a big kiddush. And they come again. Oh, we go there. We eat for the young people. We'll go and eat their food too. Then they come in the afternoon. Again we're going to eat. What do you have? A free speaker? A speaker Shavuot? All night. And I saw people with pizza. And lasagna and eating and this and taking and taking and taking. Good. Give back. No, some people cannot do it. It's so sad. It's so sad. We need to fix the roof. We have water coming in. We need air conditioning, you know. No, there's no money. I go to the parking lot, 5 Rolls Royces, 2 Bentleys, and 3 Lamborghinis. Oh, there's no money. Something wrong. Something wrong. You see? You're not going to take your Lamborghini to the grave, to Olam Haba, you know. But what are you going to take to the grave? You know, I gave you so much beracha. You didn't have a lot of money, but you gave a little bit. You gave a little bit. to fix the air conditioning for everybody, so on Shabbat we can breathe. Or you gave, I saw young people giving money for Kiddush. But a lot of people, they get stuck, you know. So David HaMelech says, "Uderech hataim lo amad." Don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Don't become a slave to your money. Money is a slave to you because you can do good things with it, beautiful things with it, you know? Or like this guy that died from cancer, and then when he was dying from cancer, then he had a line of people. What do you want? A house? Here, you take a house. What do you want? A wedding? Here, do a wedding. But why did he have to wait till he died from cancer? Hashem blessed you for a reason. Right? It's not to hoard it. It's to do something noble with it. Noble with it. And by the way, Rabbi Jacobs has the same problem in Eshet Torah, you know. He has to go and ask money from the Ashkenazim, from this and that.
Why do you don't charge like minimum $10 per person?
No, you don't even have to ask. You don't even have to ask. You don't have to embarrass the person. You don't have to, it's like taking out teeth. The person should say, I'm coming to the house of Hashem, you know. Or another person was even worse. He was eating downstairs once, and he was bad-mouthing the board in Nesach. No, they're no good, they're fighting, they want to throw the rabbi, they want this, that, and he's eating the food. And I said, are you making a donation for the food? You're not making a donation? You're eating the food and you're bad-mouthing the person who's giving you the food? What is that? No, I'm very grateful to the rabbi. He made me Shomer Shabbat. Okay, you're Shomer Shabbat, but that Shomer Shabbat goes out the window. You think Hashem cares about your Shomer Shabbat? You're very Shomer Shabbat. But what about giving back to the community? This is the house of Hashem. Everybody's coming here. Let's give back. That's what it means. Uderech hataim lo amad. In the way of the hataim, right? And it's also interesting that Ashrei ha'ish asher lo. Take the letters, the last letters. What is that? Yud, Shin, Resh, Aleph. The last letters of Ashrei Ha'ish Asher Lo, the Aleph, the Resh, the Shin, and the Yud, they make also Ashrei. What does that mean? What does that mean? Ashrei means happy. Happy is the man. You know when you're happiest? When you give back. When you go back. So Ashrei, the last letters, you go back. When a person is able to give back, that's like karma. You're making good karma. It will come back to you again. You're not losing it. You're investing it. You're giving it back. Hashem says, nice karma. You took so much, but you gave so much. You're going to get more. Okay, we'll carry on next week.